Good afternoon. We are live. Can we have a 5x5? That would really help. Whilst we wait for a few more to get into the chat, we've got 56 in there right now. If you can hit the thumbs up, it helps the video get pushed out there. Because, as always, we are being shadow banned. It's a nightmare. Thank you for that. So we have confirmations that you can see and hear me. That's very important. Hopefully the audio is good and the visual is good. Also, right, we're going to get into this. Now, what I'm planning to do is to do a short live stream about this topic, and we're going to be doing some deep diving tonight. And tonight's live stream is going to be like 7 o'clock to about 8, something like that. We have solutions of how to protect ourselves from the poisons in the sky. And yes, it is poisons. There is an awful lot of money being spent trying to convince the masses that this is just a conspiracy theory. It's not real. Don't worry about it, etc. But we can categorically prove that this is seriously bad. Okay. Now, how many of you in the live chat, and indeed if you're watching this on the replay because you couldn't catch it live, I understand, it's fine, do you get up early in the morning? Sometimes when you do, I'm talking between 5 and 7 in the morning. Okay, more often than not, you'd look outside or you go outside and the skies would be quite clear, and then all of a sudden we start to see familiar scenes in our skies like this. Now, there is overwhelming evidence now that this is not natural, and believe it or not, this sort of thing never used to happen before 1990. So I've been talking about this for a long time now. Now, if you're new to the channel, I urge you to dig up the old photographs before 1990. So when you was a kid in the 80s, you were down the beach and your mum and dad took pictures playing and stuff like that. Look at the background. Look at the skies. I guarantee you, you will not see anything like this in the skies. This started around in the early 90s, so 90, 91, 92. This is when we started to see things change in our skies, and it's been going on ever since. And there certainly looks no signs of this sort of thing stopping. So what you're seeing on the screen now is all of these lines in the skies. Now, I've had so many disagreements and sometimes arguments with people trying to convince me that all this is flight paths. Okay, so my question to these people is, flights usually take place every single day of the week. Okay, daytime and nighttime. So why is it that sometimes the clouds are completely clear and sometimes they're like this? Now, logic would say that if the skies are clear, that means that no aeroplanes are flying. And the only time that that happened for a brief time, especially in America, when 9/11 happened and when we had lockdown, okay? Those sorts of times, the clouds weren't there like this. So why is it that we have lines, not in the morning, but later on? It's pretty much like the early bird catches the worm. So when you get up early, you're going to see clear skies. Now, what happens over time, once these lines have been sprayed in the sky, we're going to see things like this. Now, we have all been seeing things like this. And then there's all sorts of conjecture about these sorts of chemicals and poisons that are being sprayed in our skies are intrinsically linked to HAARP. Now, HAARP, we've talked about on this channel ages before. If you're new and you don't understand what I'm talking about, do a search online, HAARP, HAARP. Okay, it's the High Aurora Advanced Research Project. Now, this has been going on since the 90s. Okay, and we've been seeing it like this. Now, if you look at the screen, would you say that this is natural? And you've been seeing stuff like this since you was a kid. Now, my question to anyone thinking this is normal is nature doesn't really work in straight lines, to be fair. Now, this looks pretty artificial to me, and we are seeing the temperatures drop. Now, there's so many things behind this, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to look into the nitty-gritty of this short presentation, beginning with the airports, okay? So if we look on the screen now, here is a list of all of the airports in the UK. Now, this doesn't include airfields, okay? Now, I've worked in the aviation sector for about 15 years, and I've traveled around the UK to some of these airfields, and I know they exist. So where are these planes taking off from? I would guess that lots of it is from military bases. Okay, so you're looking at Odium, Fairfield, you're looking at Bryce Norton, etc. You're probably looking at Boscombe Down. All of these places are pretty active with military aircraft. Now, you can easily do a search. This was a very quick search, which I looked into this morning, a list of airports in the United Kingdom, and we can see all of these places will say whether it's private or public. So if you live near any of these places, it would be really cool to see some video of flights taking off from any of these airports. Look at the places. So do you live near any of these areas? This is just the East Midlands, okay? And we can go through all of these on the screen. Silverstone, Spalding, Stamford, Sywell. There are tons of aerodromes, private airfields, and indeed public airports. Okay, it's shocking the amount when you look at the amount of lines we are seeing in the skies. This indeed, ladies and gentlemen, is a very big high-end operation we are talking about. This is extremely well funded, extremely well organized, and the key word to try and really understand is compartmentalization. Now, what that means is loads of people are just doing their jobs. They are not aware of what they are doing in their particular small, narrow-minded part of this operation. They're not connecting to the dots to the bigger picture. Now, as you can see, there are so many of these airports. You've only got to look on the screen, okay? So it's no wonder we are seeing so many spraying lines all over the sky just in the United Kingdom. But the weird thing is this is a global thing, okay? This isn't just happening in the UK. Indeed, any of you guys who are outside the UK right now, if you can let us know in the chat where you are, and are you seeing this sort of stuff being sprayed into the atmosphere? So we're predominantly looking between 10 and 15,000 feet above sea level. Now, lots of commercial airliners fly in and around 30,000 feet. So this is pretty much low level, okay? And we've seen these lines in the skies, and in the background beyond it are the bigger normal clouds, which we have always used to be seeing, okay? So this is a very low level thing. We can look at the amount on the screen. It's just phenomenal, okay? There is more than you probably realize. Now, I would guess that not all of these airports and airfields are taking part in this operation. But what I've just showed on the screen, I absolutely say that yes, there are airfields which are adopting these acts of atrocities, really, because they are. They really, really are. Now, whilst we're waiting for more people to get into the chat, we are going to look at this time lapse. Okay, so I'm planning on doing this really soon. I've been checking the weather on my phone, and when it says we're going to have a clear day, etc., what I'm going to be doing is I'm getting my professional camera set up, and I'm going to time lapse for the whole entire day. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to review it, and if it comes out clean, I will post it, and we're going to be doing a live stream about it, because this is just the evidence that I am capturing. So we're going to hop over and watch this together whilst we are still waiting for people to come on board. So if you can please share the video, that really helps. We've currently got 416 people in here. We could do with a lot more, because the more people that share and talk about this information, the more chance we've got about winning this war, because it is a war, believe it or not. So what we are seeing now is literally time being sped up. Then these lines which spread and disperse these chemicals. So we're going to have a little talk about the chemicals and stuff in a sec. Mainly tonight, we are going to go deep into the chemical aspects of what is going on in our own skies and what we can do to protect ourselves. So fear not, boys and girls, there are ways that we can protect ourselves from the air that we are literally breathing. But not just us. We're talking about insects, birds, animals, even the crops that we are growing in our gardens, our off-grid areas where we're growing our own food. It has an impact on the soil, because some of these clouds, they do turn into rain and they mix with the airborne droplets and go into the soil, and over time ruin the soil to make it really difficult to grow seriously good, organic, healthy heirloom food. But think about all of the animals. So if you like eating meat like lamb, beef, etc., they are eating grass, okay, grass fed. Now, all of this stuff that is being sprayed everywhere is getting washed into the grass and being consumed by animals. And you can see one of these jets which are spraying. And there's a few pilots which I need to get hold of. Whether I can get in contact with them before tonight, it's a tall order. But some of them I know that go flying on a regular basis, and it'd be interesting to get their take from what they are seeing up in the skies. Because this sort of operation is absolutely doing no good for all of us. Now, as you can tell, the amount of these chemtrails are crazy. Like I said earlier, you see the lines being sprayed, they're at a lower level between 10 and 15,000 feet. And all your average, normal, to be expected clouds are beyond that, higher up in the atmosphere. This is what I'm talking about, early doors, okay? So you get clear skies and eventually they all cloud over. Now, this is getting out there finally. You know, myself, I've been talking about this since 2008. And finally, I think what happened in 2020 is more people are starting to question things. And it's really encouraging to learn that people are looking up and saying, why don't we have summers anymore? Why are we seeing this crap being sprayed into our skies, literally trying its best to block the sun? Now, as we know, the sun gives us vital vitamin D to support our immune systems. Now, my thought process going through this year is I suspect that we are going to have some sort of attack like we had in 2020. 2020 was just a training exercise. We are looking at the real thing happening September onwards this year. So they have absolutely ramped up their campaign regarding spraying this poison, and it is poison, into the lower atmosphere, which is causing our immune systems to be weakened. So we are literally going to be primed, ready to take the full onslaught of, I suspect, bird flu mixed with something else to be released globally from September onwards. Okay, so we need to make sure our immune systems are on point. Now, I'm going to be talking all about how we can get our immune systems ready on tonight's live stream. So please don't forget, come back here at 7 p.m. and I'm going to reveal everything I know of how we can protect ourselves from this poison, which is being sprayed all over the skies, not just in the UK, but globally. So we just go into the chat real quick. Thank you, Jeannie, for that support. There are all sorts. Now, I've been watching a video from a friend of mine. Some of you follow him. His name is Richard Phobes, and he done one the other day where he had 2 pilots being interviewed. And it's quite fascinating to hear their side of the story from the experience that they've had. Like I said, I've had 15 plus years in the avionics sector, literally building and assembling parts of mostly military aircraft and some of it commercial too. I haven't actually been up in the skies like the pilots have, but it's really interesting to see, because when we talked about that word, compartmentalization, okay, lots of people are doing their own little jobs, completely unawares of the big picture. And the big picture is the clouds, the skies, all the way around the planet are being poisoned everywhere. You can go on holiday to Bali and you'll see it there. So this tells me that the only way that this can work is by compartmentalization. Okay, so we're looking at ground crews, we're looking at pilots, we're looking at the people who produce the chemicals. Where do they come from? Mostly America and India and some parts of China. So when I hear India and China getting pulled into this equation, what am I thinking? Well, there's a high part of the recyclable waste which we export from the UK over to India and China, so they can literally break down all of the components and possibly reuse them. So highly positively that there are products being taken from our recyclables over to India and China, which they are using. So what are we talking about? Aluminium and barium are the two main constituents. So like I said, when I talk about the live stream tonight, there are ways that we can protect ourselves, because if we are not consuming the right things and we are breathing this poison in, slowly over time, it's going to do us more harm than good. 100%. I'm just popping into the chat real quick. Hi, never got a notification again. Yeah, really sorry about that. I urge everyone to check their notification bells that tick to all notifications, because if you haven't done that, you're not going to be notified of the live streams. Now, it does look just quickly going into the chat that lots of people are aware of this, which is good. So what we need to do, we need to share videos like this one. It's really helpful on Facebook. Now, Facebook is exploding with information about chemtrails now, which is good, because the overwhelming majority of the global population use Facebook, believe it or not. I don't. I've never been on Facebook. I've never had an account, and I never will. But any of you who are on Facebook, I would please ask you to share this video on there so more people can see what's going on. Now, I'm not selling anything. All I'm doing is I'm trying to get information out there to get this stopped. Now, like I said earlier, when I exposed all of the UK airports and airfields, if you was to go back through there, or indeed look at it again yourself, we can pull it up right now. Right. Just type this into your search engine, okay? That's all you need to do. List of airports in the United Kingdom. It's really simple. And it will go through to Wikipedia, and there you will find the map, okay? The map is useful for a bit of a glance. It's a real quick way to spot where you live and indeed where the airports and airfields are near you. Now, like I said, when you scroll down, there are tons of airports, and it even gives you the length of the runway. Now, I would like to assume at this point that the longer the runway, the larger the aircraft, and the larger the aircraft, the more that they can spray. So I would just concentrate on looking at the lengths, meters or feet, whether you're metric or imperial, whatever floats your boat, use that. So all of these, look, military, it shows everything. Crazy. So here's a good thing. You can do it from the highest upwards. So the longer the runway, the bigger the aircraft. Amesbury in Wiltshire, Boscombe Down. I've absolutely worked there a long time ago. And I remember seeing the last Concorde flight earlier on, about 2003, 2004, something like that. And yes, these airfields are huge. When you look at the lengths of the runways, the bigger ones are absolutely where all of these planes are taking off from. Now, we've already talked about on a previous video about we have train spotters. Okay, so the guys maybe come across a bit geeky or whatever, but these people are useful to us, okay? And indeed, the same ideology going on to airfields, okay? There's some people, believe it or not, all they'd love to do is stand outside an airbase and they just record the types of aeroplanes, when they take off and when they land, etc. Now, when we have that information, it's very, very important. This is what we need to get out there and talk to people about, because I don't know if any of you have the flight radars. Now, lots of these aeroplanes which are doing the spraying, when you look at your flight radar app on your phone, Flight Radar 24 is a good example, AEBL is another one, you can see, wow, there's planes right above my house spraying this. You go onto the flight radar, guess what? They will not be there. You can choose to filter just military aircraft and all commercial flights, freight, etc. So when you see planes flying over the top spraying these lines, you check your flight radar and they are not showing up. Wow, it's a big flag, in my opinion, because why aren't these aircraft showing up on my radar? If they've got nothing to hide, why would they hide it? This is where we go back to compartmentalization. Loads of people are doing their jobs, etc. Now, some of the planes which we have heard about on Richard Bogues' video was the Airbus A330. I've worked on those. I almost had a job contract in Toulouse in south of France at Airbus, being part of the manufacture of these. These are huge, massive planes, and transporting these chemicals all over the globe, and literally mixing them up so we can see what they're doing. Now, this is a rare glimpse of inside one of these aircrafts, okay? Like I said, I've had 15 years experience working in the avionics industry, mainly military, a very small part commercial. Now, I would like to draw your attention to what you are seeing on the screen. This aircraft obviously has been stripped out. There's no seats, etc. They are full up with these tanks. Now, I would like to point out that when you have an empty aircraft and you install an installation like this, it's going to cost tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of pounds just to install what you are seeing in this photograph. It takes a lot of time and a lot of money. Now, we've had people say, oh, all they are doing, they are checking out the weight on the aircraft for ballast. So they're representing the weights of people sitting on seats. Now, I'm here to tell you, in my experience working in the avionics industry, that if you was to get every single aircraft and done this, to fly a few test flights and to land it and to take all of this out and put seats in there, I'm telling you that is 100% bullshit. Why? Because of the time and the cost it takes to install all of this for a few flights to test it and only to remove all of it and fill it up with seats. That is absolutely a bullshit sideshow. This aircraft has been fitted out with the sole purpose of spraying us guys with poison. If you could look at the 19-inch racks in the background with all of the kit and equipment there, all of the wire looms, all of these pressurized containers which have been linked, and they are spread to nozzles, usually under the wings, to the rear wings of the aircraft, therefore flying in patterns and spraying this poison. The poison, as you can guess, are installed inside these pressurized containers to the left and right of your screen. Like I said, this has been going on for a long time. Now, if you want to research a bit more about this, here is a really good place to start. Okay, it's called Geoengineering Watch. So if you are new to this, I absolutely urge you to go on here. 47 million visitors so far. Okay, so this tells me lots of people are waking up. When I stumbled across this website during research years ago, this was around 2,000 to 3,000. Now look at it, 47 million. That's like half the population of the UK. So we need more people to come to this website to find information and to literally go off on your own and research yourself. Okay, there's information about HARP as well. We've talked about HARP, and like I say, this is a good documentary to watch. It's called For Dimming. Okay, so this is absolutely tailored to show friends and family and work colleagues who have no idea about what we are talking about. Okay, so if you do go onto this website and you can click into this and you can watch it. Okay, it's a fascinating watch. And we've had experts being interviewed. We've had conferences. The information on this website is insane. Now, unfortunately, they have had a few attacks trying to close this website down, which is why it's absolutely imperative, if you can share this video, more people can go to this website and to educate themselves further of what the truth is really going on, because what they are telling us in the mainstream is 100% bullshit. It absolutely is. Now, I am not affiliated in any way with this website. I'm not earning any money at all. All I'm doing is trying to point people in the right direction if they are new to this, or indeed if you have a rough idea, like most of us do, about chemtrails and we believe that it's happening, you can really ramp up your knowledge by going to websites like this and watching videos, looking at graphs, data, links to other places. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible. Like I say, this just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. It's a huge, massive database. Ha, George Soros. I know. I'll probably recognize there's some chat about that guy and all of the climate BS. Basically, it's what I've been saying for years. They are telling us that the planet is warming up, the ice caps are melting, we're all going to be underwater, it's really dangerous. So one brainwave idea is to spray this crap to try and block out the sun so it doesn't heat up. That is what we are being told. Now, more people are waking up to this. So when they check the stuff that's falling, aluminium in the snow, when they lab tested it, the results are absolutely shocking. Okay, this poison should absolutely not be used anywhere in our water supply or in the air, but guess what? They are doing it. Okay, they are absolutely doing it. So we're just going to go pop into the chat real quick. Like I say, I urge you guys to come back at 7 o'clock because we are going to be talking way more about what we've covered already. Okay, this was designed to literally get a small snippet of information out there about the truth of what's actually going on, and we're going to talk about it more in depth tonight at 7 p.m. So Ian, thank you for that donation on PayPal to supporting the channel. I really appreciate that. And also Jeannie as well. Mega thanks, because like I say, when I talk about this stuff, advertisers don't want to get involved. And guess what? It's very hard to earn a living doing this. But I remain confident and upbeat that I have powers to help me navigate through all of this. And I'm going to continue. I'm not going to be silenced. We need to talk about the important things. Now, I'm fully aware that there are prepper channels out there which won't go near any of this stuff. They say, I'm a prepper, but I'm not a conspiracy theorist. Right? These people either have their head in the sands, they are afraid that their name is going to be tarnished with the term conspiracy theorist, and they are all in this prepping thing for the money. Okay? Just be careful of channels like that. But I'm absolutely convinced that this information absolutely links perfectly in the world of preparedness. Like I said, tonight I am going to show you how you can protect yourself against this, because we need to make sure that our immune systems are friggin' tip-top going into the latter part of this year. Lots of my videos are way forward thinking. Okay, I would do a video and in a month's time I will get comments to say, oh, what you said, nothing's happened, blah blah blah, you're fear porn. Mate, I'm already ahead of the game. I'm already like 2 years ahead. I can see what's coming. So I'm trying to wake as many people up to share this information, because we have got some mad years coming down our way. And if you are starting in the world of preparedness, the basic things that you are going to need is food. Okay, food and ways that you can clean water to make it safe to drink. They are the bare basics. And the more food and the more water that you can purify, the better your chances are of making it over the next 5 years. Because what we are seeing now being sprayed in the sky, we ain't seen nothing yet. They aim to ramp this up so much that you are going to taste it when you go outside. How many of you drink tap water and how many of you don't? Now, people who don't drink tap water, when they go near tap water, you can smell chlorine, bleach, chemicals, God knows what else they put in the water supply, in the mains water supply. You guys in the chat and on the replay will know exactly where I'm coming from. I stopped drinking tap water in 2006. I live on a mountain now. My water is filtered via a borehole. There's no mains connection. And when you drink the water here, it's just spring water. There's no crap. There's mineral deposits like magnesium, phosphorus, calcium already naturally in the water. There is no treatment crap. So when we're talking about those who have a good nose, that you can smell the chemicals in water, with the amount that they're going to be ramping up this exercise with the crap they're spraying in the air, at some point you're going to go outside and you're going to go, bloody hell, it stinks of like chlorine and God knows what else. That could be a reality. So that's why it's fundamentally important for all of you watching right now to please share this video, because the more people that see this, the more people start to become aware, the more things can be done. Like I said, rewind the video and have a good long look at the list of where these airfields are, because these are where these aircraft are taking off from. Compartmentalized. The pilots, do they know? Are they unaware? Are they just doing their job? Well, I'd like to think that most people involved in this program have a conscience, and at some point they're going to put 2 and 2 together and go, bloody hell, I'm literally contributing to this. You know, when these pilots do their days worth of flying and they have like a weekend off and they go to the beach with their family and they lay down and look up at the skies and they're going, bloody hell, I know what's in that because I'm the pilot, one of them, spraying it. Now that person's got to go to sleep and think to himself, it's not good. I need to stop. I need to do something else. And the more pilots that we have involved in this program resign and start spilling the beans, the better. Now, if any of you are watching, are pilots, if you could please contact me, the email address is on the bottom of the screen. And indeed, the links are all underneath this video. It would be great to have someone come on the channel and we can do a live podcast or even a recording, okay? So we can edit stuff out. We can protect your identity. It's fine. But we need more whistleblowers. We really do. Like I said, I stumbled across this in 2008 and people are only finding out about it now. So we need more people on board. If you can share the video, I'd really appreciate it. And make sure, please try to remember that 7 p.m. sharp on this channel, we are going to deep dive into what's really going on with being sprayed up there. So if you don't get notified, please remember 7 p.m. tonight, we are going to go deep and we are going to offer solutions to protect ourselves. Because if we don't, we are all going to be ingesting this stuff, making us seriously poorly, systematically as we go through time. See you tonight at 7. You guys take care. Thanks for watching and stay funky.